Now, South Africa's president facing a fresh test of his leadership today as Africa's most industrialised nation prepares to reopen its economy. The country moving into level 3 of a 5-tier lockdown, but bitter divisions there as to whether it is coming too early. South Africa, though, pushing back today's reopening of schools by a week, saying that a substantial number are not ready yet to welcome back pupils. We're going to cross to Cape Town, speak to our correspondent Emsie Ferreira, who joins us from there. So today should be a big stage in South Africa in ending its lockdown. The schools, though, in the end, as I was saying, they're not going back yet.
No, the decision was taken last night to delay the schools reopening by 1 week. So they will reopen on June the 8th, but only for grade 7 and grade 12 learners. There was a big objection coming from education unions who said schools simply don't have the protective equipment yet to keep learners and teachers safe. There's an estimate here that about 10% of teachers have comorbidity factors, and roughly a third of schools don't have running water. So there's really a big question as to how to protect pupils when they do go back. The exception here, of course, is the Western Cape. And this is a province that's the epicenter of the epidemic here so far. It has 21,000 infections. Out of that's almost two-thirds of the total number of infections nationwide. But the Western Cape said they are ready, so they will be reopening schools this morning as we speak. And for the rest, we're really seeing the now almost unfamiliar scene of public transport out on the road, shops reopening, as about 8 million people returned to work this morning.
Emsie, the peak there has still not come, has it, in South Africa? I mean, it's rather a gamble for the government, isn't it?
It is. The government's been caught between a rock and a hard place. We expect the peak in the next month or two. And the health minister was saying repeatedly last week that we're reopening well before feeling the full impact of the epidemic. It's going to get much worse still. But he didn't really have a choice because of the socioeconomic factors here. We had estimates last week that about 50% of people are now facing food insecurity or will soon. The economy has lost 250 billion rand so far because of the impact of the lockdown. It was, of course, already weakened before the health crisis began. So what they're trying to do is restart the economy, but keep as many safety precautions in place as possible. And the government was guided here by the scientists as well, the health ministry, who said they feel that the lockdown, there will not be much scientific benefit from it any longer. So therefore we're seeing this return, but it's not a full return, of course. I mean, bars, hotels, the tourism sector, beaches, all of that remains closed for now, as is the country's borders, and travel between provinces remains prohibited except for special exceptions.
Emsie, thanks very much. Emsie Ferreira, correspondent, joining us there from Cape Town. Now let's